Welcome back to day 8, master bath remodel. Yesterday in day 7, we were able to get the floor down. Plumbing's all roughed in, ready to hook up. Got the shower pan installed with the drain. It's all working fine. So today we're going to be putting plastic up on this insulation. I've already got a good start. I've cut it to the correct height. Got it stapled down. Just need to finish up over here by this window and cut it out. Once the plastic's up, then we'll begin on the wall boards. First wall we'll be putting up is a right wall, and it has all in one piece. It wraps around the corner, the back corner. Also has a shower valve. It has to be cut out to protrude through the wall. And I'm getting ready to make that cut. But there's our access hole in the hallway, and I use that to mark where the control valve goes. So I'm confident on my position because I had it setting on the base and back against the control valve. So I'm going to cut this hole out. We'll see how we fit. Here's what I used to bore the hole. Just a typical wood hole saw. But it done okay. Did kind of get it hot and melted around the edges, but that will peel off. Take a utility knife and clean it up. Alright, we're in the right position. Now the instructions on this shower say to leave an 1/8 inch gap along the bottom where it sets down on the base. It's about what I have. They recommend using paint paddles, so I'll get a couple of them to set under there just to be sure. I think we're okay. Got to put some OSB here on the back wall to support this and to glue it. This actually glues to the OSB board. Seems to be a okay fit. Got our 2 shims at the bottom. And it is level. So now I'm going to fit the other wall. Make sure that it fits okay before we put the OSB on. Alright, that looks pretty good. We've got a good tight seam where they meet. So next I'll pull these back off and we'll put some OSB up. We put screws also. I want to put another 2x right here to fasten the seam to. And I'll have to put something over here too. Alright, we have the studs in on each side that supports the door. Right here at the edge on each one. Have our OSB put up to support the walls themselves when we put them up. And we use a power grab glue, it's called. You put that on the OSB when you put your panels up. You do have to put some kind of weight or something against them till they set up. Next, I'm going to just test fit the 2 sides to make sure that they set flat against the OSB. Then we have to drill some holes at the very top of the walls so we can fasten them into the studs. I do need to put a 2x4 right up here between those two to fasten that top edge. But I think otherwise we've got plenty of fastening places on the left panels. Well, after about 10 test fits, we're ready to put the walls up. So I'll put the adhesive on the OSB and we'll get it fastened in. Time for the left-hand panel. You can see my glue pattern about every 45 inches up and down. And I used almost a whole tube on this, and that's what the instructions said to do. I'm going to run one more bead there at the top. We'll get this one. And this strip right here, it's got a little rubber gasket on the inside of it. And when you put this side panel on, you snap it into that. While we're letting the shower walls dry with the adhesive, we don't want to be bothering that. I want to leave that alone. I'm going to get started on putting some wall boards up. I can start over here without any problem. Got our felt paper put up, just stapled just in a few places, and I've cut around the outlet and the cabinet that's in the wall. So time to put some boards up. Using a Ryobi nailer, 1 1/4 nails. Lots of cuts on these. Had to cut around the outlet and around the shelf we built in the wall. So once I get to the top of that shelf, pretty clear sailing on up to the ceiling. 7 more boards. I guess I'm up to it. It's about 8 o'clock. I'm about worn out for the day, but I'm going to try to finish these 7. Time to quit. It's 8 o'clock. Got that much of the walls put up today. Along with the shower, it's still looking good. The glue's pretty dry, but I'm going to leave these braces on here overnight anyway. Continuing on this morning on the wall boards. I have my felt paper installed. Here's a close-up of the boards that we're using. I like the side that's got the saw cuts in it, but Rita doesn't care for that, so we're putting this side out. And they are they are pretty rough, so we'll have to go back and put a coat of polyurethane. Probably halfway up those 2 walls. Close anyway. So I've been working 2.5 hours. This wall, I just need to rip some pieces for the very top. And I'm starting on around here. So I'll be working on this next. Not a lot of video to show you on these wall boards. So I do have to make some cuts around electrical outlets and the 2 little cubbies we built into the wall, but other than that, it's just straight cuts from board to board. So I'm doing that out on the front porch, so it's nearby. So haven't filmed a lot, didn't want to bore you. It's just the same thing over and over. Have the shower wall done, other than the 1 board at the top, and that's what I like all along these 3 walls that are finished. And I resorted to cutting strips of felt paper. I'm about to run out. I had 2 almost full rows, and by putting it up solid, it ate up a lot of it. So I'm just cutting strips where the joints are. And then if I happen to have a vertical joint where 2 boards meet, I just put a little piece Like on that stud there, I put a little piece there to cover up that joint. I think I'm going to have enough by doing it this way. I've got probably a 10-foot piece left out in the garage to do all of this wall with. We painted that wall, so that won't cause any trouble. Over the cabinet, we should have painted that, and we still may just paint it black. We won't have to worry with the felt paper then. It's almost 6 o'clock, and I'm working my way to this corner here, and I'm going to try to maybe put a few of these up before I quit for the day. And I've got this board here just tacked up so I can cut these boards flush with the outside of this. I'll wrap the corner with this board over the top of the sideboard. Here's what I was talking about on the felt paper behind the joints. I'm just cutting strips where the boards join. And I just put the paper up, staple it here at the top. Take the knife. And try to keep a consistent joint between the shower and the wood. Well, that has all the wood up on the walls except for the very top piece. And those will have to be ripped. So that's why I waited to do them last. I've got everything else put up. When I measured, it's going to take 10 pieces to finish the top of the ceiling. And here's what we have left. We got 3, 6, 7, 10, 13, 14. So we have 18 pieces left. So we have one box we did not open, so that'll be returned. Get a refund for that. And we'll have probably 8 pieces left down in the woodworking shop to make these final cuts. We'll be cutting the top boards, the very top and last boards next to the ceiling. And I thought I'd do these on the table saw. Just a lot more stable surface and I can get a smoother cut. Have 5 of them measured, and these are my dimensions. This is a width on each end. That's the length. So I'm going to get these 5 cut. We'll go put them up. And if I'm not mistaken, we need about 5 more to finish up. Keep track of which board goes where after I cut these 5. I'm just going to number them. That's number 1. That's number 1 on my list. And I know what corner of the room I started measuring from. Let's go see if they fit. After a couple of days of work, got all the wall boards up. And I tried, when I put these up, I tried to make joints like over the, on that wall there where the toilet is. I could have just cut all the boards, put a solid board up all the way up and down the wall, but made joints where it gives it some contrast. Of course that takes longer, but I think it looks better. And this space up here is above the mirror, and it gets just a shelf that sits on top of that. Mirror goes in that opening there. Vanity down here, and over here in this corner is where the tall cabinet was. So I stopped these boards well below where the top of the cabinet is, and it fits really tight up against this wall right here. So when we put that in, those wood pieces, those wall pieces should be butted right up against the tall cabinet. Here's the other cubby we built in the wall. This is for Rita's stuff. Her hair dryer is going to go right here. with a cord over here, and then she has some other things to put in the bottom and that top shelf. And we're not going to trim that out. We're just going to leave it like it is. I did my best to cut the wall boards tight around the edge of it, so we're just going to leave it like it is. There's our ceiling. And there's the side over the shower. So we're getting close to being ready to put the vanity and the cabinet back in, and the toilet. I think next we're going to install the shower door. It is a curved door, matches the base. So we'll see how tough that is to put up, but we'll figure it out. This is a good stopping point today. See you tomorrow. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, and we'd love it if you would subscribe to our channel. Thanks.